Invincible has a huge problem, and it has to do with the voice actors. About 2 weeks ago, I kept hearing about how the animation was getting worse, and how the show was getting sloppy. Even though I was really enjoying Season 3, I thought I might as well see if that's true. It was an excuse to rewatch the last 2 seasons and introduce my buddy to it. Yeah, I know, I'm a real hero. So as we're watching the Flaxen invasion scene, he says he has to go pee, and I pause the show. But as I pause, right at the bottom where Prime shows the cast, I see the voice actor for the Flaxens, Jimon Honsu. Wait, the guy from Blood Diamond? Gladiator? Guardians of the Galaxy? That guy? Isn't he a kind of famous movie actor? Why is he voicing the space aliens who literally say gibberish with a voice filter and have one word of dialogue? It seemed like an odd choice, and so now every time we pause, I take a quick glance at the cast. It didn't take me long to realize that Invincible has a lot of celebrities doing the voice acting. Most of the main characters are voiced by pretty famous TV and movie actors, including side characters that have barely any lines or impact on the story. People like Jimon Honsu, which I mentioned earlier, John Hamm, who voices Steve. Who? He's the guy at the very beginning, who talks for 2 minutes before the Molar twins show up.
I am Steve.
Ella Purnell as the daughter of that one guy who died to Cahor, Justin Roiland as D.A. Sinclair's first victim, Tim Robinson as Philip Schaff, the comic book guy, and 19 Steven Yeun's. What's next? Are they gonna get The Rock to voice Glacier Peanut Freeman in a cameo? Please don't do that. Look, I'm not against famous movie and television actors voicing people in shows. Steven Yeun, Sterling K. Brown, that guy from The Red One, Aaron Paul, they're all phenomenal. But when you're hiring such popular actors for almost everyone, including the side characters that have 2 sentences of dialogue and never show up again, is that really necessary? For example, getting Ella Purnell to play as Jane while she's working on other big TV series like Arcane and Fallout couldn't have been cheap. And you can't get her to do other characters unless you want to add her to the shopping list of expensive cast members. The only way to get some bang out of your buck is to get her to do a few more lines for side characters that rarely show up. You've already paid to bring it to the studio, so it would make sense to keep them there for more than 20 minutes. Get it to play multiple non-reoccurring bums or background nobodies like how Fred Tatasquar does. Although, Fred is actually a professional voice actor, so it still would make sense. Because you're hiring an expensive actor like her to do what cheaper, more experienced people can do with the same impact. Respectfully, it's not like Purnell was needed to play Jane, so I guess it's an interesting cameo, but it's not like you get to see her face and it's completely overshadowed by the Angstrom fight that happened 10 minutes ago. I didn't even know it was Ella Purnell until I was doing research for this video, and the same goes for the many other celebrities in Invincible. Frankly, it seems like a waste of money. A waste that'll only grow over time as new characters are introduced and given more screen time. Now, the reason I keep bringing up money is because executive producer Marge Dean said that Invincible's budget is only a quarter of what the shows like The Boys have, which is about $11.2 million per episode, meaning that Invincible only has $2.8 million per episode. That is not a lot considering how they're animating such a large action-heavy IP. I definitely could be wrong, but I'd bet that a quarter, possibly more, of Invincible's $22.4 million budget is spent on the voice actors, which leaves only $17.8 million for composers,
1, 2, 3, 4. Rushing or dragging,
directors, writers, storyboard artists, music collabs, and finally, the animators, to produce 6 hours of animation in a year. I want to frame just how unfair this is. Prime, one of the largest streaming platforms, releases Invincible Season 1 after 3 to 4 years of development. People are eating it up, and it quickly becomes a huge sensation on the internet. So Prime says to the animators, hey, we've been hearing about your latest success, so we'll give you the go-ahead on another season. So, 2.5 years later, they release Season 2, and once again, they've hit gold. But wait a second, there's a 4-month break. So Prime says to the animators, hey, so it turns out the fans really dislike the 4-month break. What's that about? Well, we've been working hard to get this out to a standard we want, but you know how it is. Animation is time consuming and we don't exactly have the money to bring on more animators. That Adam Eve special took a lot of manpower. Yeah, we really needed that 4 months. I hear you, brother. We were actually meaning to ask. I know this sounds crazy, but do you think by any chance we could add that 4 months to the deadline instead of putting it in between episodes? Look, man, I hear you. How does this sound? February 6th. Like February 6th, 2027? No. February 6th, 2025. Are you serious? That's less than a year. That's 9 months. You're giving me 9 months to animate. So they get to working. And after just 10 months, Season 3 is released. And this time, fans aren't happy. Fans are criticizing the animation for being a lot less fluid, having more static shots where the PNG just kind of moves across the screen, and being somewhat lackluster at times.
See? You see? Oh, you don't see it?
And that's incredibly unfortunate, because the animators did the best with what little time and resources they had, and to be honest, they received way too much hate. While it is admittedly not as well animated as the prior seasons, Season 3 isn't just good, it's amazing. You're telling me they made the Invincible War in 9 months? Who knows what more they could have done if they had the money for more staff. I want to close by saying, Prime, you're not DreamWorks. It's not Megamind. You can't just blow so much money on celebrities and expect a development time of 1 year. Maybe if you had $130 million, you could, but not with $22 million and 100 overworked employees. That's all I wanted to say. I've been putting off watching the finale until I finish this video, so I'll pin my comment letting you know what I thought of the episode. I might think it's terrible, who knows. I'm also currently editing my big Marvel Rivals video. I'm trying to get it out ASAP, so stay tuned. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, love you, bye. God, it's so